it is important I address an issue of urgent national importance which appears to have gained some momentum, particularly on the social media in the past few weeks. Some groups of people, self-appointed crusaders and influencers, have been strategizing and mobilizing potential protesters to unleash terror in the land under the guise of replicating the recent Kenya protest, the Beku. While the force acknowledges the right to peaceful protest as enshrined in our Constitution, we must ensure that these protests do not snowball into violence or disorder. As a nation, we have had more than our fair share of violent protests, which with rather dastardly consequences. The last NSAS protest led to wanton destruction of public assets, including police stations, courts, transport infrastructure, and loss of several lives. Tales of sorrow, tears, and blood followed what was supposedly intended to be a well-intentioned exercise. Rather than to lead to any positive outcome, NSAS merely aggravated crime rates and insecurity in several parts of the country. Indeed, we are yet to fully recover from the huge economic losses and deep-seated psychological and emotional trauma inflicted upon our people by this protest. Hence, our position is that the proposed violent protests are ill-advised and should be jettisoned forthwith. We have the responsibility to protect properties and everyone, irrespective of their race, color, ethnic, or tribe, who are lawfully embarking on their daily activities. We will therefore not sit back and fold our arms to watch violent extremists unleash violence on our peaceful communities, or destroy any of our national critical infrastructures and assets again. We have mapped out plans to ensure that no individual or group succeed in fostering a reign of terror and or anarchy on other law-abiding and peace-loving Nigerians. Consequently, I want to seize this opportunity to clearly sound a note of serious warning to hoodlums who might want to take laws into their hands in the name of protest, to have a rethink, as we will not fold our arms and allow our beloved country to be set on fire. Our duty is to protect lives and properties of citizens, and this we are committed to discharging professionally. We will, however, continue to protect the rights of citizens to peaceful protest as we have always done in the past. My honest advice is for Nigerian youths to avoid being used and lured to unwittingly do the biddings of those who are promoting selfish and inordinate ambition. I will just use this opportunity to appeal to the youths of Nigeria. Youths of Nigeria should please ignore anybody inciting them into violence. There have been calls. People have been calling on youths to come out, to come and replicate what they did in Kenya, in Nigeria. They should copy and paste what happened in Kenya, in Nigeria. We already have our own fair share of violent protests. We have had a series of violent protests in Nigeria. There was the SAP riot of 1989. There was the students' crisis of 1986, the ABU crisis of 1986, the Ali Must Go protest of 1978. So we have had our own fair share of violent protests in Nigeria. The most recent is the NSAS crisis of 2020, where, apart from innocent lives that were lost, there was mega destruction to public infrastructure, especially in Lagos. There was unprecedented destruction and looting of private businesses. worth trillions of naira. Job losses were in several thousands. Loss of revenue due to productive hours lost, calculated to be in several billions of naira. And what do we have left? Insecurity took over post-EndSARS crisis. All those places where police stations were burnt down, go and ask them if they want any protest. Go and hear them. Let them share their experience with you. All those areas where they burned down police stations, criminal gangs took over. Armed robbers terrorizing them. Young ladies cannot come out once it is 7 p.m. Several women raped. People were calling for the return of the police. So it is usually from violent protest to violent crime. That's what follows. After the violent protest, what follows is violent crime. All the arms looted from police armories are in the hands of criminals, now terrorizing members of the public. Is that what we want again? Anybody calling the youth to come out of violent protest, they don't like the youths. So I am using this opportunity to call on Nigerian youths to shun violent protest. They should not be used for violent protest. Violent protest does not bring any positive result anywhere. It leaves in its trail tears, sorrows. And that is why you rightly said that the silent majority have vowed that they are going to wait for these people who want to destroy our communities. These are unpatriotic elements who don't even believe in the country. They just want to burn down our country. And many of them who are inciting this violence, they are abroad. They are not in Nigeria. We have checked them out on social media. They are not living in Nigeria. They stay abroad and inciting youths do what they did in Kenya. As if we have not. What happened in Kenya that has not happened in Nigeria before? So, this is a delicate time to want to engage in any form of violence. And all Nigerians should come together and say no to violent protest. Not any form of violence. It's just going to leave us worse off. I know so many people who lost their jobs after the EndSARS crisis. Their business burnt down, warehouses looted. And here we are in 2024. We want a repeat. Only criminal gangs are calling for a repeat of what happened in 2020. Yes, we know that there is hunger. Times are hard, but government is doing their best to ameliorate the suffering of Nigerians. A lot of measures are being put in place. Government is already hearing the cries of the people. Even governors at their own level are trying their best to make sure that things in their states are stable. And this is not happening only in Nigeria. It's a global meltdown. I know some people who left Nigeria because they felt Nigeria was hard. Now they want to come back because where they went is even harder. Just 2 days ago, I was having a phone conversation with a friend who is a doctor in Canada. And she was telling me that in her clinic, they arranged to distribute foodstuffs to people in their neighborhood. And that she was surprised to see the number of people that came out to come and, to come and collect the food package that they wanted to give to the needy in their neighborhood. There are people turn out just to come and collect bread, come and collect spaghetti in faraway Canada, developed country. So what is happening in Nigeria is not happening only in Nigeria. It's a global problem. And governments of these countries are trying their best to help their citizens. Our government too is doing their best. They are not sleeping. They are even more concerned than some of us.